What is going on? I'm Zedmod, back in Diamond with 2 accounts. So I had written this one off for dead. This is the account that has 200% building damage and somehow managed to absolutely streak into Diamond again. So if you are on the defensive side of things and don't want to spend those diamonds, just know that going 7 will make things better. And there are some good things to come. We're going to get that damage amplifier. We're going to get some mortars. We're going to get some building damage. So the goal for this one at the second is to get up to 21.50, which every season I got to remind you guys right about now, 21.50 is that next parking spot. If you want to start in 12, you need to get to 21.50. Doesn't matter if you stay there, just need to get your highest point to be 21.50. So that's where this one's going. Just crushing people, really. Like fizzle, 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 winning by 2 seconds, fizzle, and then fizzle. So it's on to the offensive side of the court. Now this one, I have been struggling a little bit. Now, on my tech tree, I went back and got that Rocket Choppa boost, and that was because I intended to do a little push yesterday, and I did not have the keys for the Tiny Shock or the remote defib, but then I ended up not playing. So, I had 30 keys, and I figured that way I could get 2 chests today, and I haven't gotten them. So, we are going to jump in. Rocket Choppa Boost is speeding things up a little teeny tiny bit, but you still have to win. And I am definitely not doing a great job of that at the second. So we're going to send you over here and then you over here, and Rudy's going to get over there too. The whole point of Rudy there is that he should, in theory, be able to distract a couple things as we get rid of that boom cannon, get a little bit of extra damage through there. And then as Rudy starts to make his way forward, we're just going to keep a shock out there. And rocket launchers are dangerous. Do not sleep on rocket launchers, whatever you do. Suddenly, rocket launchers are hitting with a giant hammer and doing all sorts of damage. So you will look up and you'll have no rocket choppas left. So that is my first bit of advice to you, is that if you've been ignoring rocket launchers, I wouldn't continue to do that for much longer, because it's crazy. Like, I'll look up and I'll just have like 3 rocket choppas at absolute lowest possible health, and it is not a good spot to be in. So we are doing fairly decently here. We've got all the angles happening. We're going to end up with a fairly quick time here if all goes according to plan. As we start throwing barrages on this far left hand side, I am way far zoomed out, so not getting great barrage locations, but we are going to pick up the win. We can tell that because they've already gone down a rank. A little bit of a spoiler there, 238, and not the best hit of my life, but I will take it. And you can see the fact that this base, people putting up 228, means you gotta be quick. And I at least have that next chest in diamond for sure, unless I only get like 1 engine room on this hit. That is all I am about on this account at the second. There are no, I'm not doing anything but surviving at this second. So we're going to get all of this stuff dropped. We are going to get a shock back here, maybe some critters in here, and then get Rudy running through things. The earlier I can get Rudy running through things, the better I've found. Just need to make gosh darn sure that he's going to be able to stay alive. So now we just need to watch all of our sides and flanks and all of the rest of those words as Rudy starts to have low wingmen. Very dangerous times as the wingmen start to get low, but I think we've managed to walk through this base fairly well. Just need to be gosh darn sure that those side rockets are not crushing our troops. It is crazy just how fast those side rocket launchers take all of your troops to the cleaners in a big way. Now, I was really hoping that some of our troops would head off to that left-hand side, but it looks like we're not going to get any value out of that. So we are down I think it's time to start flaring. This is probably about that time. I think we're going to get the flares out. We're going to get our troops out, getting a shock on that sniper tower, flaring engine room to engine room, trying to speed this up a teeny tiny bit, and then just going. All of the GBE, all of the med kits, all of the GBE at general, and 2 minutes 29. Not fast enough. My hits are not great. Haima, some form of that word pulling out. That's like the exact reverse of the hits yesterday. So this base was copied from Abu Fahad, I believe, and it's doing all right, but you just gotta be fast, and I am definitely not fast at the second. But here is the critical bit. That tiny shock, I have seen some great hits done with it. I just don't know if I have the guts to do that or not. And remote defib, you kind of have to switch in some bombardiers. So I am going to go with the tiny shock. I've got some diamonds. You'll see that have not switched any nodes this season, which is huge. And now I'm going to go down to 2 boats of heavy choppas, simply because we have the tiny shock. And now we're going to see if we can't pull off some magic. This is going to be a questionable hit. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to try to go for the Hail Mary. I don't even know where that Hail Mary is going to be, but we're going to give it a go. Let's just see where that is. I think if we get a flare back there, we can probably... Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to send one boat of that heavy chopper back to that back left-hand corner. We're going to go something like this. And then as soon as that sniper tower's gone, I'm going to flare onto there. We're going to throw a tiny shock there. And might as well send Rudy too. And we'll go something like this. Heavy choppa. And now as these guys start to come forward, we're going to get that shock there. We're going to get a tiny shock there. And Rudy's just going to run. And we need to throw a smoke on top of Rudy because of that hot pot. And now, decent. We have decent things happening at the second. I just need to keep Rudy moving forwards as he tends to do. And then he tends to die. So need to shock you and shock you. And then we've got this stuff happening on this bottom engine room. And now we just need to use every single little bit of GBE that we have on that middle engine room. This is definitely not going super duper smoothly, but the fact is that we are decent here. We are pretty gosh darn decent. We are going to pull off a 244 with ugliness. That was not good at all, and we pulled off a 244. So what is going to happen? We pulled off the win by 10 seconds just by sending our troops off to the back and using that tiny shock to try to keep them alive. It was not pretty. It did not go super duper well, but that's the first time trying that. So tiny shock definitely has some potential there. I just need to figure out how the heck to use it. So big shout out to Luke from Join at Own Risk and Nightwada. You guys have helped me a bunch along this path. And now I just need to figure out how the heck I'm going to do it. So if we're going to send... Like, I've got some smoke here. We could maybe clear and send back in that back general direction, flaring onto the sniper tower maybe, and then clearing out that way. We could also use, you know what? I'm going to try to go even one step further on this one, and we're going to try to get this front stuff using a flare, which is going to get those bombardiers out of range of that mortar. And this is going to be interesting to say the least. So we're going to drop 1-2 here with Rudy. We're going to clear all of this front stuff because I am a little bit concerned about that. And then oh gosh, we've already lost that. So that's less than ideal by a giant margin. Rudy going to come out here. We're going to get that done. We're going to get that. And then we're going to get all of the rest of it like so. And just making this up as we go along. I don't even know where anyone is at the second. We've got bombardiers in that bottom left. That is great. We've got some rocket choppers back here. Need to deal with that and that bombing run and the rest of the things. This is an absolute and utter ship show, but it's going fairly well, even though it definitely shouldn't be. So we're going to get that last engine room right there down. We're going to get some of our troops back into this corner. And then maybe Rudy can do something for us. Need to get one. Yes, kitten. I know. Oh, we have picked up the win in the ugliest of ugly fashions. This is not good at all. But thanks to our good friends, the Fizzle, we have gotten this puppy down. So definitely, actually not a bad time, to be honest. We got a 236, 235, which would have been good enough to win that first match. Just so lucky against Johnny B, though. So I'm going to leave you there. Start thinking about those weird hits that you can do with the tiny shocks, and also do look for bases like this where you might be able to sneak up that side, take out that mortar and get onto that engine room with bombardiers. It's a little bit dicey. You probably need to have an active flare so they don't walk all the way up into the range of the mortar, but there is some fun things you can do there. Hopefully this has got you thinking. I'll be back tomorrow with a mega super duper video. My kids are off to the grandparents for a quick visit, so I've got a little bit of extra time on my hands. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmot. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, do consider throwing code Zedmot in that shop. Typically lead with that, but I was just too excited about the defensive account being back in Diamond. I'm Zedmot. Thanks for coming in. Peace.